Hello everyone and welcome back to Spintires Mudrunner. In today's episode we're going to be touring the map Rocky Hills, you know, the new DLC map, and of course we're starting with the Natco Chevy and we got the GMC back there, which really looks like something's worked it over pretty good. Hang on a minute. I want to go to... yeah, it's been smacked up pretty bad. I'll go to a trial drive later. Anyway. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Now, where will we go first? There's a pretty good map to circle, I guess. Maybe left. Yeah, that works pretty good, I think. But yeah, hey, actually, that's a pretty good point for starting. Yeah, they might want to change that sometime. Wonder why the truck's front wheel drive. Although I've noticed front wheel drive seems to always work better in this game. I've got a, you know, some of Voto's mods that are front wheel drive, and strange enough they seem to pull a lot better than four wheel drives. Well, except when they're in four wheel drive, but in a rear wheel drive vehicle. It's always been a bit odd with the game, although I think it has something to do with the back ends of these trucks aren't really that heavily loaded. So that might have something to do with it. You know, I think this map was pretty much made for these trucks. And the terrain is pretty wild. And just remember, this is a stock map everyone's going to have. And this is the sort of truck you drive on it. Yeah, I was actually going to do something else. On the weekend I was planning on recording a different Mudrunner video because, of course, this hadn't launched at that time. So I didn't get around to it, so that's probably a good thing, otherwise I'd be scrambling anyway to record this. Instead I can do that for next week. Unless I end up doing this as a two-parter because this is the fastest of trucks. No, it does pretty well actually. Especially when you consider how rugged the terrain is. Oops. That was unfortunate. Oh, I think I've got some repair points in the back of this. And yeah, actually I think I might take a different route down. Maybe come down this way a little. Yeah, this is some serious rough terrain. Yeah, I'd say this is a more advanced map. Although probably nothing compared to a lot of the mod maps that are out there. But this obviously has to work, you know, on everyone's computer and obviously fits for every player. Whereas you have other maps that are utter nightmares unless you're an absolute master of off-road driving. which is something I'm not really that great at. I'm good enough, but even after all the practice from both Spintires games, I wouldn't call myself an expert. Mostly because those super hard maps seem to eventually bug me to the point where I just stop playing them before I finish them. Okay, I have a bit of a drive. Yeah, there's a lot of water on this map. And it doesn't look like there's a garage either. So I'm assuming you have to find the logging truck or start with one. Never been too sure about that idea, but I suppose it does up the challenge. And of course I flipped it. Oh, well, I guess we'll take the GMC. Where did I actually get it stuck? I might actually be able to salvage that. Or not. He does alright for something that's not supposed to be used off-road. Probably be a bit more careful with it though, because it's already damaged. Yeah, it might not be suited for off-road use, but it actually does reasonably well. Well, I suppose as long as you keep it out of the deep mud. Probably helped by all the weight on the back. I suppose that's what I get for trying to be clever. This won't be the most agile of vehicles. Yeah, the Chevy's up there somewhere. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it though, so I might have to try and make do with this. Oh well, I guess it ups the challenge for me, since now I'm racing the clock in a slow truck. But then it just means I get to try out both vehicles, so maybe that is a win in the end. I just have to remember this thing doesn't have the quickest steering. Probably pretty realistic. This probably wouldn't have had power steering back in the day. You can see him winding away at the driver, winding away at the wheel. Hey, another truck. Goody. And it's another Jimmy. Yeah, you can see what happens when I drive into the water. Things go over there. This one's in a lot better shape. I'll stick with the fuel tanker simply because the extra weight, I think, is why it's driving so well. I just realised that truck is recallable. I could just recall it over here. Oh well. I might do that if I get hopelessly stuck in this, because this is actually kind of fun. A bit of an extra challenge. I mean, there is no real road this way. This is something of what I suppose you would call a hardcore map. And by the looks of it, there aren't any. You have to find the log carts and drag them to the thing rather than have a loading point. Like I said, it's the more advanced user map. And mind you, I think the valley and the ridge was, all of that was supposed to be a bit more, whatever, the other DLC maps were supposed to be a bit more challenging than the default in-game ones. I guess they're just lifting it the game just a little bit higher. For those that aren't afraid of a challenge. Of course now I'm in a big cumbersome truck and pretty much have to stick to the roads, so yeah, I better pay a bit more attention to where I'm going. Well, that attachment looks a bit funny on the back of this truck. It's obviously meant for a Russian truck. Alright. I'm really liking this, it's actually pretty capable. So yeah, it gets my seal of approval for general off-road duty. I probably wouldn't take it into the super hardcore sort of areas, or I suppose avoid flooded areas. They probably wouldn't end so well. The turning circle's pretty wide. Now from here I need to go over this way and to here. I need to find a way across because I think that trail goes towards there. I sort of need to go this way. And yeah, you're sort of seeing the limits here when you get into the more muddier and boggier ground. Doesn't have the right wheels and tyres really. I do kind of miss the old thing you could do in Spintires where you could swap out the wheels for, say, highway wheels if you weren't going to do any off-roading. You know, better grip on road but worse off-road. Or super heavy-duty mudder tyres that would allow you to go through any bog but were pretty hopeless anywhere else. It's also why you sometimes see like that Land Rover mod where you have 6 versions of the Land Rover and 3 sets of wheels for it, 3 or 4 sets of wheels. And this time around they had to do each version individually, so you had three versions of each one. Alright, I need to go to the right, I think. Oh well, I suppose you could say I've tried out both vehicles. Don't know why I'm suddenly taking a lot of damage. Well. Yeah, you can sort of see where this truck's starting to get a little out of its depth. We'll just slowly continue rolling coal down the hill. Hey, there's sort of a road over here. This map is quite interesting because there aren't any really marked trails. There are a few roads and that, but there isn't a major thing. Probably the ideal place to do it, but I can't really make that curve, so I'll just get across here and use the winch to wind this truck up over the edge. Or at least that's the plan. Let's see how sideways this goes. That actually went better than expected. I'm actually starting to really like this truck. We'll obviously have to do a bit more testing, but seems like it's a reasonably formidable vehicle. I mean, obviously the turning circle is pretty awful, but I do have the diff lock on and no drive to the front wheels, so It's not so unexpected. Now, how to make it up that last hill? Probably can cut up here and just sort of winch our way up. Here's where the winch challenge starts. Yeah, will it make it? That's the question. Let's try to the left. Doesn't help that you can only slip the wheels so far before it starts ripping up the ground. As you can see, things starting to go to pieces down there. We'll just cut over here. Into slightly better ground. Oh, come on, don't get bogged at the last inch. Yeah, I think I'm grounding it. Have to go around. Yeah, this is going to make the video a little bit longer than planned. I'm going to pick a route that this thing can actually take, which is probably a bit more realistic. The Napco Chevy would probably be able to just crawl over that, but not so much. Yes, that's more like it. Spot where I can get over where I won't ground the frame. This thing has a pretty long wheelbase as well, that doesn't really help. And once you get onto some clearer ground, it hustles pretty good. Right, U-turn. It's not far to the last one, so let's get on with it. A lot of logs. Oh, damaged. Sneak down amongst the trees. There's the mill. So yeah, I'd say that's actually a pretty decent vehicle off-road. Obviously it's not super capable because, well, it is a 6x4 truck. But as you can see, it generally, especially once you lock the diffs, it doesn't really care if the road gets rough. We will probably have to unlock the diffs on corners. Probably why I'm having so much trouble. Although this doesn't top the time back in Spintires when I took a 535, yeah that's what it was, over, you know, up the paved road up, what do they call it now, I can't remember that map with the zigzagged route. And of course I took the paved one, which was narrow and windy, with a long log trailer on the back of an 8x8. And yeah, one of those curves took 20 minutes to fight my way around. I should go left. I was right. That probably would have ended in a rollover if I hadn't done that. And we'll cut down here. And success! And I did most of it in a 6x4 truck. Anyway, here's the fuel station, which is probably this truck's natural habitat. Oh yeah, it's over here. Best of all, it took all of 20 minutes. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel for more daily videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in Spintires Mudrunner.